What is up, guys? Today we are back with a brand new Freshly Grilled. Today's Freshly Grilled is going to be going over a brand new Pokemon and a little bit of speculation onto exactly what this means for Pokemon as a whole, and possibly even speculating about a new game coming out. So without further ado, guys, let's get right into it. First off, I want to say the name of the Pokemon is either Magiana or some pronunciation similar to that. And it's a man-made Pokemon from what we've seen translated from the actual Korokoro leak. And it's going to be in the 13th movie with Volcanion, which is also another man-made Pokemon. So I think that's really interesting to note because it has a striking resemblance to Deontay, but I don't think that Deontay is going to be the best comparison. We're going to get into that a little bit more later on. But they are very, very strikingly similar because of, one, their eyes, which are nearly identical in both color and in just shape and how they generally look. And obviously we're going to be able to see more in depth on that later on and if there's actually any intentional resemblance, but right now I can't say for sure whether or not it's completely intentional, but they both have a really weird bulbous body and their eyes are very similar, and they have those weird ear things which aren't really ears, but they're kind of ears. They like look like ears, and I'm not exactly sure what their purpose is actually, but nevertheless they do look very similar, and that's probably what a lot of people are going to be pointing out, but I am going to kind of contradict that right about now. So first off, I want to point out that we do see that it is about a meter tall and 80.5 kilograms, and if you take a look at Deontay, you'll see that Deontay is 0.7 meters tall and weighs 8.8 kilograms. So there's definitely something to be said for their differences, because honestly they're not all that similar if you put them side by side. Now, if you take a stock image of both of them and you just kind of compare them when they're resized to look the same, obviously they're going to come out very similar. But right now, at this point in time, they're definitely not similar if you just use what we have as far as statistics that surrounds both of them. So that's something I just wanted to point out, that they aren't quite as similar as you might have thought. Now, I will concede that Mega Deontay is much, much closer, but still not really that close to Magiana. It is nearly the same size at 1.1 meters, but it is 27.8 kilograms, which is just over a fourth of Magiana, which is something I think that people need to take into account because they are a similar size, but they weigh way different amounts. And it's starring in a different movie, and I don't think that there's much other than aesthetics that we're really going to be able to draw as far as comparisons between Deontay and Magiana. Finally, I just wanted to say that the red and blue bit in the middle of Magiana, I really have no idea what it means, and I'm going to speculate and say that it's just a design addition that the team just wanted to add something, and it's probably going to have to do with its special move that's unique to it alone, and possibly have something to do with Volcanion as well, because it is red and blue, and Volcanion is, you know, fire and water. It would make sense that they have some sort of interlocking mechanism of some sort, that there's some sort of synergy, and that we will see that in the movie, I'm sure, or in a future game when it comes out. And we're going to get into the future game talk a little bit in a minute, but I just wanted to point out that I don't know what the little mechanism in the middle means, and I'm kind of looking for answers on that right now. So as far as speculating on the type, I would say purely off of the Deontay comparison that it's either going to be Fairy Steel or possibly even Ghost Steel, because as we've seen. So purely off of the type comparisons between Deontay and Magiana, I would say that most likely, if they're compared on purpose and their aesthetics are similar for a reason, then Magiana is going to end up being a Fairy Steel type. Now, this could definitely change. I could definitely also see it being a Ghost Steel type, as we've seen in the past when certain Pokemon come to being by possessing something. We've seen them become a ghost and something else type. Like, it's something that just sort of seems to come in with the man-made Pokemon idea. So I would say that it is possible that it will come in being a Ghost Steel type, but I would expect it to fully be a Fairy Steel type. And going back into the whole man-made thing being a ghost idea. I would say that would 100% be a Ghost Steel type, but Volcanion is a fire water type, and it just so happens to be man-made as well, so I wouldn't really place as big of a stress on it as I might have in the past, because Volcanion fits the same bill, but it doesn't fit the same bill as far as its actual types go. So I would say that it probably is going to end up being a Ghost Steel type, but I don't have a whole lot of basis to base that around yet, and I guess we'll see in the future what it's going to end up being. So finally, I just wanted to touch on the possibility of this confirming Pokemon Z, which I absolutely think it does. This is a Pokemon that's actually not present in Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, X, or Y, and I think that that's important to note because I feel like whenever a new Pokemon like this is released and that you just see it but you can't actually get it and there's no way to hack it in, there's no way to get it in your games, that it all but confirms the new game coming out. We've seen this a lot in the past, this sort of strategy, and we've seen Korokoro leaks that worked in a very, very similar way as well. So I would say without a shadow of the doubt that this confirms that Pokemon Z will be announced sometime in the very near future, most likely for a release coming very soon as well. So I'm very, very excited with the possibility of a new game coming out, and I think this all but confirms it. We'll probably get it, I would say, close to the birthday for Pokemon overall, so probably rolling around the 26th, 27th, 28th. I would assume that we're going to see our first glimpse of Pokemon Z, and I'm very excited to share that news with you as soon as it comes out, but I would say this absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, confirms Pokemon Z is very, very close to being released, or at least teased to the public. And that's gonna be about it, guys. I'm going to continue covering this as much as I possibly can whenever there's any new news about it, so if you see something new, go ahead and tweet me it and I'll make a video on it as soon as I possibly can. I will see you in the next video. Make sure you subscribe if you're enjoying this content and you want to see more Pokemon content in the future. Until next time, peace.